Well, hello again. YouTube P2 Finger here with a quick tip. P's quick tip, P's quick tip. So, your cables, your guitar cables, this is what I use to clean guitar cables. Most of them are black. Some of them that I have are different colors. You know, these newer ones that they sell on eBay, they'll be $6 for 6 patch cables. I've got some older blue and turquoise cables, and it isn't so much what you can see, it's just that when you're handling them, that stuff gets on your hands. So what I like to do is use acetone. I get the 100%, which is this black label bottle here. What you want to do is apply a small bit and make sure that you're not melting. Acetone is a powerful solvent, but what I find is you can use rubbing alcohol. You can use thinner. Is this thinner in here? It sure is. Woo. As you can see, no shortage of schnapps bottles here. I've got one here. Where did my... Here, this is the good stuff. Oh, it's naphtha. No, just kidding. So, yeah, you want to make sure that what you're cleaning isn't going to melt. Anytime you use a solvent, you're pretty much safe with 70% rubbing alcohol, but even that, I don't want to come out and generally just say, oh yeah, you can use 70% rubbing alcohol and not concern yourself with ever doing any damage. Here's one I did yesterday. It's primered, and I had scratched the word schnapps into it, so I taped over that and then shot it black. And when I removed the tape, it also removed a lot of the gray primer. But yeah, this is a schnapps. Schnapps is short for thinner, paint thinner. Sometimes you need that little extra. So here's a green cable. I'll go ahead and turn the color on. I had someone give me a jab about the black and white. My lips aren't really that hot pink in real life. I don't like the color balance on this camera, so I set it to black and white. Anyway, we're gonna grab this greeny cable. I'm gonna show you how I do it. Now this stuff, it evaporates really fast, and when it evaporates, it gets cold. You can get a 6-ounce bottle of this at the dollar store for $1. At least where I live, you can. Take a look at that. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You can also purchase the same thing for, I think it's 79 cents at my Walmart. So here is the results of quickly. And let's see, are we getting green? Yeah, it's cutting the actual ink or dye that was used in the material in the manufacturing process. So, oopsies. The one that I did earlier was a turquoise one, and no dye came out of that. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this again. I love doing stuff like this, you know. This is my OCD kicking in of just taking a minute to clean something. This is the part of my personality that my wife hates. Now, here we're getting down to just the ink that's coming off. And I'm sure you would get some pros, techs, and experts who would say, never use acetone on anything. I just did. And I don't think it's a big deal because I've done this on a red cable that I call my performance cable that I have had since I was 16 years old. It came with regular 1/4-inch ends on it. I put a Switchcraft 90 on one end, and then I've replaced the other connector. Look at that. More dirt. Just a little bit more. You'll have to trust me. There's dirt there. Like I said, that cable is what I call my performance cable because that's the cable that always plugs into my instrument. So for lack of a better term, it's red. So that's like, when I first got it, I was like, oh, that red cable, like nobody else has one of those. I'm gonna look like, ooh, I'm trying to make some statement with my red cable. No, it's just so I can see it. See, here's the thing. Like stepping. That infuriates me if I'm watching a performer and they're just standing on their cords, which I see it a lot. I've seen really great guitar players that I have unbelievable respect for just standing on their cables. I am more of the Princess and the Pea type thing with my foot. I can feel it, and something's telling me the whole time you need to, I don't want to say that. Sure, there's plenty of times if you watch videos where I get out there or if I'm tired and I'm standing on a cable and it doesn't register. But for the most part, I try to take care of my gear, and part of that routine is giving them a rub down every once in a while. And if you're not a fan of the acetone, yes, rubbing alcohol works really good. I find that you can, if it's really dirty, the acetone just does a better job. It just gets in there and cuts it. It removes everything. So is that really bad for the plastic? I'm not sure. Like I said, I've got a cable. I'm 52 now, and I got that cable when I was 16. I remember being in high school and having that cable. That's when I thought of that concept of that cable is going to always be the one that you play through, and I still have it. So I'm really proud that I still have it. Hey, should I show it to you? Why don't we clean my performance cable today? Excuse me for getting up. I was auditioning Dirtbox today because I finished an amplifier project that I'm working on, and I'm going to shoot a demo video for that, which isn't going to be a real big deal. I'm just going to demo a single pedal on it, play it clean, and then I've settled on a Carl Martin Plexitone being the pedal that I'm going to use. And one of the reasons that I really like that is it has, it's very much the way that the pedal is laid out or designed. It's very much like an amplifier foot switch, where utilizing it is almost like adding extra gain stages to your amp. So it's not so much like a pedal as it is like an amp foot switch where it has a boost. Then there is 2 different gain settings. So you have a bypass, and then you set the first gain kind of low, set the second gain kind of high, and then you can also click in that boost. So it takes a clean amp and gives you 3 more tones, 4 more tones, depending on how you look at it. There's a charge pump in that pedal, And you know what I did? There's still stuff coming off of it. And this was, it wasn't clean, but it wasn't filthy to the eye. But when you do this, when you go through this process, you see, oh my goodness, how filthy it is. And this is I've always cleaned this cable the same way. I'm guessing if you don't like working with solvents, you could just as soon get some dish soap or whatever, hand soap, anything, even just plain old water, and an old sock if you don't like using disposable paper towels. I know that's not the best, but my method has always been to run the acetone. Look at that. Run the acetone and then go back over it with a rubbing alcohol, which I try to purchase what's called the 90%. That's just the percentage of the active ingredient, the rubbing alcohol. I guess the rest is water. The guy at the factory's pee, maybe? Anyway, because of the COVID fiasco, typically I will get 3 big bottles like that, those big square ones, of 90, and they'll last me like 3 or 4 years. Well, you know, I don't want to say that because I use a lot of it. Here we've got some thinner, the schnapps I call it. The bad thing about this is it really stinks the place up. But let's see, since we're, yeah, there's dirt on there. Since I'm demonstrating how to ruin a cable, because with these types of rubberized plastics, putting a petroleum product on it, they'll tell you, oh wow, that's something's trying to get me there. They will tell you, don't ever, no, ruin it. Well, I'm here to tell you, for cleaning it, it's okay to do it. If you're doing this constantly, and me, the procedure how I do it is I will always, for the final round, I will just use alcohol. And maybe in my thinking, that's good because you're removing whatever remnant from the nasty, bad stuff, the petroleum products. Now, what do we use for cable condition? Like after you cleaned them, they feel kind of weird, like they're raw, like they've been cut, like the actual material is exposed and the pores are open and they're gummy, like a piece of gum. Let me look it up and see if I can find, because I know the temptation to use Vaseline, or butter. Guitar cable conditioner. Yeah, this is power conditioning. So, rubberized plastic salve. Plastic dip. Yeah, see, I'm not exactly sure what you would use. Let me try just some lotion. I've got a thing, which this would be, in my mind, this lotion is good for human consumption. So at the same turn of the screw, that would mean that it would be okay. Gee, I just had it. Just had that lotion. I had here, I've got Furman brand chapstick. Oh, yeah. The Furman brand chapstick. That's the stuff. I'm going to, excuse me, guys. I know I keep leaving you in this video. I'm going to grab that hand lotion and further make a mess out. We got this stuff from Walmart, White brand, Advanced Hair Body Lotion. Like I said, the cable, it just feels kind of raw and cut, like it could use a little conditioner. And I've never done this before. This is kind of goofy. Probably think I've been smoking some marijuana today, getting these bad ideas. I haven't. I can assure you, I haven't smoked any weed. Okay, now I didn't use a real lot. I used less than I would use to put on my hands. And I gotta tell you, the cable doesn't feel cut anymore. And by cut, I mean it feels like it was like raw, just out of the manufacturing process. Like all of the pores in it are really open, like it's really vulnerable. And the reason I'm putting this stuff on here is just to make it not to feel so cut. And now wiping that off, it's still now it has a very tactile. This is now it's sexy. This is nice. This is the kind of cable you could with somebody's behind for pleasure. Yeah, this is good. Wesley Willis whipping donkeys behind. So yeah, that's how you. That's not. Don't listen to Petey. Don't do what Petey. That's how I clean my cables. You don't have to do this again. I like to wind them up and do them nice, and by handling them through that process, I notice that after I do that, I always feel like I really, I'm kind of weird about washing my hands. I don't like having sticky stuff in between my fingers, especially like when I play. Like I like to wash my hands, and I will even take a break if I'm at home playing. Let's say I played for 4 hours. Sometimes I'll play for 8 or 12 hours. If the band is together playing, we've done some marathon. And so I also, this is a thing that I took from Jeff Beck, is using just a small amount of baby powder. And not so much on your pick hand, although it helps to grip the pick, but for your fret hand on the back of the neck. So, I don't think this is good to condition your cables with. I think I'm going to stick with either not using anything or using lotion. I have to find something like Armor All. You know, that would probably be what you would want to use. Something that's an automotive product that's made for rubberized plastic. All right, you guys, keep it clean. I'll see you around. Peace.